Since the game has recently been ported to PC, it's a good idea to watch this video. By the end of it, you'll learn some key tips that will put you ahead of many players and make you a more skilled gamer. Number 10. Stay safe from dogs. In The Last of Us Part 2, dogs are among the most frustrating enemies you'll encounter. With their keen sense of smell, they can easily track your scent and expose your location to other enemies. During combat, they relentlessly chase you down, trying to bite and take you down. One of the best ways to avoid their attacks, as intended by the game, is to climb onto the top of cars. From there, you're completely out of their reach, leaving them helpless. They can only bark and watch as you stay safely above them. If you prefer not to harm dogs in the game, this strategy provides a non-lethal way to evade them. However, there's a major downside. While you're safe from the dogs, you're also left exposed to enemy gunfire and attacks, making the situation even more dangerous. Number 9. Only aim for the head with the bow. The bow is one of the best weapons in the game, offering a lot of versatility. In my upcoming videos where I rank the game's weapons, I'll go into more detail about how great this weapon is. But for now, let me share a couple of its most useful features. You can attach explosive tips to the arrows or simply use the bow to quietly take down enemies without alerting others. One thing you might have noticed while using the bow is that the arrows tend to break after hitting enemies. This can be annoying, especially if you want to reuse them. Here's a simple trick to avoid this. Instead of aiming for the body of your enemies, always aim for their heads. By doing this, you can approach the enemy's body after they fall and pick up your arrows without them breaking. This way, you can recover your arrows and use them again in future fights. Number 8. Take control of the game settings. In the game, gathering resources is one of the most important tasks for survival. To do this, you need to thoroughly explore the environment so nothing is missed, collecting everything you can. Although there is an option in the game settings that allows you to change the color of these items or make interactable objects stand out, I personally prefer not to change the settings and keep everything in the default mode. This way, I feel the game has a more natural survival experience. However, if you want to activate this option, follow the steps in the video. While it can be helpful, I find it adds a bit less immersion for my personal experience. Number 7. Infected versus humans. Since the enemy of our enemy is our friend, it's a great idea to use this to our advantage. In many stages of the game, you can make the infected attack the human enemies, who are your foes, by thinking and planning a little. The game often places these two enemies together, giving you the opportunity to make them fight each other.
The hell is that? I'll check it out.
However, in stages where the game doesn't do this, you can take matters into your own hands. All you need to do is lead the infected towards yourself, and when they start chasing you, run towards the enemy human base or camp. Then you can enjoy watching them fight each other. Another interesting point is that it's not only necessary to make infected fight against human enemies, you can also make the infected battle each other. To do this, simply grab a weak infected, called a runner, from behind, and when a clicker attacks you, push the runner towards it so the clicker can feed on the runner. This gives you enough time to take down the clicker. An interesting point is that clickers feed on their own kind, the infected, like runners, for a shorter time compared to regular, uninfected humans. Number 6. Stuck in a loop of running out of ammo. In the game, there's a situation that I call stuck in a loop of running out of ammo. In this scenario, you either have no ammo left or so little that you're unable to kill enemies or progress past those in your way. I call it a loop because dying is futile in this case, as your ammo count resets to the same amount you had when you first started after respawning. So, you're essentially stuck in a cycle where you can't move forward or backward. This situation is especially common on the hardest difficulty, where the game provides limited ammo. To avoid getting stuck in this loop, there are 3 key tips. First, you need to thoroughly search the environment for ammo. The higher the difficulty you choose, the more you need to explore, as higher difficulties provide even fewer ammo supplies. You should also break the glass of shelves and cabinets to grab the ammo inside. Second, you should play very cautiously and avoid using your weapon's ammo unless absolutely necessary. This will push you towards stealth gameplay, allowing you to save more ammo. Just be sure that when you sneak up on enemies, you drag them to an out-of-sight location like a room or tall grass before taking them out. Third, to avoid getting stuck in the running out of ammo loop, try to skip combat when possible. Since the game is linear, many sections can be passed without engaging enemies, and you don't always have to fight or waste ammo. If you failed to do these 3 things and have now fallen into this loop, your only option is to use the Restart Encounter option. This will restart the encounter from an earlier point, but this time, you'll be more mindful of ammo usage and save more for the future. Number 5. Best usage methods for bottle, brick. Unlike the first version, where bottles and bricks had completely different functions and were easily distinguishable, in this version of the game they are very similar, and their difference is mostly limited to their shape. They have 3 main uses in the game. First of all, you can use the noise created when throwing them to distract enemies and make them move away from you, or guide them towards a specific direction you want. However, I personally don't recommend doing this since there are better uses for bottles and bricks in the game. If you really want to distract enemies, you can break glass objects in the environment to create noise instead.
What's going on?
The second use is grabbing enemies. When you throw a bottle or a brick at an enemy's head, it gives you a great opportunity to grab them. By the way, keep in mind that you can also grab enemies by shooting them in the legs. The third use of bottles and bricks, which I personally use a lot, is one-shotting enemies. As you know, fighting enemies with a knife usually requires multiple stabs to bring them down. But if you want to one-shot an enemy with a single knife strike, you must first throw a bottle or a brick at their head. When they get stunned, immediately attack them with your knife to take them out in one hit. Number 4. Best usage methods for Molotov. This weapon was widely used in street fights due to its simple design. Not only can it be easily thrown at enemies to set them on fire, but it also has 2 other important uses that I need to mention. The first use of the Molotov, which I've seen in pro player videos, is blocking enemy paths. You can temporarily set fire to the routes you don't want enemies to use, preventing them from advancing toward you for a short period. Similarly, if you're attacking aggressively and rushing toward enemies, you can set fire to areas where they might take cover. This forces them out into the open, leaving them exposed to your shots and making them easy targets. The second use of this weapon is setting infected enemies on fire and drawing their attention. To do this, simply throw it into an area filled with infected, and you'll see them rush toward the light and flames. As they catch fire, you can effortlessly eliminate a large number of them without any trouble. Number 3. Best usage methods for trap mine. Most players place this item in areas where enemies are likely to move, and once they step on it, it explodes. However, the biggest issue with this method is that enemies might not walk over the mine at all, making it ineffective. First, force enemies to step onto the planted mine. After placing the mine in a corner or a specific area, create noise nearby to attract enemies. This noise can be made using anything, such as bottles, bricks, or even gunfire. Once the enemies come to investigate, they will step on the mine and trigger the explosion. The second method is that you don't always have to plant mines before the fight. You can also use them during combat. This strategy works particularly well against infected enemies, who usually chase you aggressively. As they pursue you, run in the opposite direction, and once you've gained enough distance, quickly plant the mine. The infected chasing you will continue running toward you and step on the mine, resulting in their immediate explosion. The third trick is that you don't always have to wait for enemies to step on trap mines. You can actually shoot them to make them explode. That's right, if you place a trap mine near a group of enemies, just shoot the mine from a safe distance. As long as the enemies are close enough, the explosion will still deal a lot of damage. The fourth trick is about using a stun bomb together with a trap mine for a powerful combo. First, throw the stun bomb to temporarily stun and freeze the enemies in place. While they're stunned and unable to move, quickly run toward them and plant a trap mine right in the middle of the group. Then back away immediately so you don't get caught in the blast when it goes off. This is a great way to take out multiple enemies at once.
Right here!
Explosion of a fire extinguisher. This is a little known fact that most players are unaware of. Fire extinguishers are not just for decoration. In the game, you can actually shoot them to make them explode. Unfortunately, the explosion of these fire extinguishers doesn't affect humans, but infected enemies will be severely damaged or even killed by the blast. I was also unaware of this myself, and thanks to John9X for discovering this trick, as he was the first one to find this method. If you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to like it or leave a comment so more people can see it and learn this trick. Number 1. Opening safe boxes. This trick even surprised me. In the game, all the safe boxes that are locked require you to search the environment and be observant to find their code. However, let me tell you that with this method, you can open all the safe boxes without knowing their codes. All you have to do is listen carefully to the sound while changing the numbers. You'll notice that when you reach the actual code number, the sound is different from the other numbers. To notice this difference in sound, you need to pay close attention. For example, take note of how the sound of the code number in this safe box in the video is different from the other numbers that aren't the code. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more ranking videos from this game, which will be coming in the future.